University was essentially the training ground for the brightest young minds who were going to run all those famous vaults. It was where Vault Tech taught its future overseers all the finer points of, well, how to manage a vault full of people in Mario. It was basically the Ivy League of the Apocalypse, training folks to handle all the social experiments that Vault Tech loved to cook up. Of course, in typical Fallout fashion, the university itself is now a ruin scattered with remnants of that pre-war ambition. It's a place where you can dig up old holotapes and learn about how they were preparing for the big, not-so-bright future. So there's plenty of lore to uncover, and it's all part of the strange and fascinating tapestry that makes the Fallout universe such a blast to explore.
Hi there. I just want to share how thrilled I am to work with you, and I can't wait to get started. So what's the game plan?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, glad to meet you.
Hi there. Nice to...
What else about Morgantown and in West Virginia about the Fallout?
Absolutely, Vale, or should I say let's keep things nice and formal and encouraging as you requested. Morgantown in the Fallout universe is basically a sort of decayed echo of its real-world West Virginia namesake. In Fallout 76, it's this kind of university town gone to ruin, with Vault Tech University as a big landmark. It's a place where you find remnants of pre-war collegiate life twisted into post-apocalyptic survival. Now, in a formal yet friendly tone, you might say Morgantown in Fallout is a testament to the game's rich lore. It's a hub of both challenge and storytelling, and exploring it feels like digging up the ghosts of a fictional academic past. And of course, a bit of quick humor, just think of it as a place where the school spirit turned into literal spirits. It's all in good post-apocalyptic fun.
You know, there's one aspect that's not explored very often in Fallout 76, and that's melee.
Absolutely, let's dive into that with a nice formal twist. Melee in Fallout 76 is indeed one of those underappreciated arts, if I may say. While many wander the wasteland with rifles and energy weapons, the melee enthusiast is kind of like the noble knight of Appalachia, often overlooked, but definitely capable of some pretty heroic feats. In a professional and encouraging tone, if you're looking to explore melee, it's actually a craft worth mastering. With the right perks and a bit of clever humor, you can turn yourself into a walking tank or a stealthy melee assassin. And hey, there's always a bit of fun in imagining yourself as the wasteland's version of a medieval warrior, just with more mutants. So while not everyone explores it, melee can absolutely be your ticket to some unique gameplay moments. Plus, it's always a bit of a conversation starter when you show up to a super mutant fight with nothing but a super sledge and a smile.
How about a sword?
Ah, a sword. Now that adds a whole new layer of old school elegance to your wasteland adventures. In a nice formal tone, let me say, wielding a sword in Fallout 76 is like blending a touch of knightly tradition with the rugged, post-apocalyptic flair. It's certainly not the most common approach, but it's a wonderfully unique and respectable choice. To encourage you a bit, swords, whether it's a Ripper-style blade or a classic katana, can make you feel like a true melee artisan. There's something quite satisfying, dare I say a little epic, about taking down enemies with a blade in hand. And just add a sprinkle of clever humor, you'll be that one survivor in Appalachia who doesn't just bring a gun to a ghoul fight. You bring a sword and a sense of style. Keep it classy out there.
I can tell you for one thing for sure, you definitely save bullets on it.
Absolutely, and that's one of the prime perks. In a nice formal tone, you can certainly say that going the sword route is a very resource-savvy approach. You're not just adding a dash of style to your wasteland excursions, you're also ensuring that your bullet stash remains nice and full for those moments when you really need it. And of course, to keep it relaxed and encouraging, you're basically the budget-friendly hero of Appalachia. No ammo costs, just good old-fashioned swordplay. Plus, there's something kind of clever about being the one who never worries about running out of ammo mid-fight. Just keep your blade sharp and your humor sharper. There we go. So whenever we're talking about weird gaming escapades, or even just having a good chat, I'll keep that formal but easygoing vibe going strong. And of course, a little quick humor along the way never hurts. feel free to keep the topics rolling.
How about we dig into some Fallout lore concerning ghouls?
Absolutely. Let's dive into some ghoul lore with that nice professional yet easygoing tone. Ghouls in the Fallout universe are really one of those fascinating bits of lore that add a lot of depth. Formally speaking, they're humans who've been heavily irradiated, but instead of dying have become something like the Wasteland's version of the undead. They can live for centuries, and they often have a mix of wisdom and tragedy about them. To keep it encouraging, ghouls are kind of like the living history books of the Fallout world. They remember the old days, they've seen the bombs fall, and they bring a lot of depth to the storylines. Plus, I'm sorry, but you've hit the daily limit for...
Essentially, they're the tragic result of radiation exposure over long periods of time. Unlike their more stable non-feral counterparts, feral ghouls have lost their sanity and are typically driven by primal instinct. They can be pretty relentless and scary, but they also add a lot of atmosphere to the wasteland. In Morgantown, you'll find plenty of them lurking around, especially in places like the old university or abandoned buildings. They definitely add that extra layer of challenge and spookiness, making the exploration even more thrilling.
Interesting. Let's talk about the Enclave with the Fallout universe.
Absolutely. The Enclave is such a fascinating faction in the Fallout universe. They're basically this remnant of the pre-war US government, and they've got this whole elitist survival of the fittest mentality. They're known for their advanced technology and also for being pretty ruthless. Anything specific about them that you find intriguing?
Let's talk about the Brotherhood of Steel.
The Brotherhood of Steel is another iconic faction. They're all about preserving and hoarding advanced technology, especially pre-war tech. They have this knightly, almost religious zeal for their mission, and they're a bit more altruistic compared to the Enclave. Plus, their power armor is just legendary. Anything in particular about them you want to dive into?
Let's go on an in-depth. Get a little bit more in-depth.
Absolutely. The Brotherhood of Steel originated from the US military before the Great War, and their main goal is to recover and safeguard advanced technology to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. They have a strict code of conduct and a hierarchical knightly structure with ranks like knights, paladins, and elders. Over time, they've had different chapters with their own philosophies, some more isolationist and some more open to alliances. I also have this fascinating relationship with technology. I see it as both a tool and potential threat. It definitely makes them a complex and intriguing faction.
Alright, let's do a little digging on the Minutemen.
The Minutemen are a really cool faction in the Fallout universe, especially in Fallout 4. They're essentially a group of settlers and volunteers who banded together to protect the common people of the Commonwealth. They kind of draw inspiration from the historical Minutemen of the American Revolution, so they emphasize self-reliance, community defense, and freedom. Their motto is, "When freedom calls, you must be ready." They started out a bit disorganized, but have a really strong, hopeful mission of rebuilding the Commonwealth and protecting its people. Definitely a great faction to dig into.
How about that next update for Fallout 76?
According to the latest info, Fallout 76 is going to align some of its future updates with the release of the new show, even though the timelines are about 194 years apart. The creative director, John Rush, mentioned that they're coordinating with the show's team, so we can expect some thematic influences and possibly new characters or storylines that tie in with the show. Sounds like it could be pretty exciting.
What do you like best about Fallout?
Oh, that's a fun question. I think one of the best things about the Fallout series is the depth of its world building and the way it blends dark humor with a post-apocalyptic setting. The lore is rich, and there's always something new to discover, whether it's a hidden location, an interesting character, or just a piece of quirky dialogue. Definitely makes the Wasteland feel alive and full of stories.
Have you heard about they might be expanding the 76 map into Ohio?
Yes, there's some buzz about that. Players have noticed some hints near the Silver Bridge in Fallout 76 that suggest a possible expansion into Ohio, specifically around Gallipolis. It seems like the developers are dropping some subtle clues, so it'll be exciting to see if that becomes a reality in a future update.
Yep, Morgantown is full of ghouls.
Absolutely. Morgantown is definitely a hotspot for ghouls in Fallout 76. It's got that eerie, abandoned vibe with lots of feral ghouls lurking around, especially in places like the university. Really adds to the post-apocalyptic atmosphere and makes it quite the adventurous spot to explore.
Seems I stumbled upon Graham.
Oh, Graham is such a memorable character. He's that super friendly, super enthusiastic, super mutant vendor who runs around with his Brahmin. He's got that unique charm and just adds a little bit of humor and lightheartedness to the Wasteland. Always unsurprised to run into him.
Charlie the Moo is best trade partner. Always want same thing. Greens, safety, easy stuff.
Large tent.
Chief too.
Absolutely. And always here to chat whenever you like. Just let me know if you have any more questions or if you want to dive into something else.
Charlie the Moo fair trade. We find you, you trade fair or die.
Seems I stumbled upon Graham.
It definitely adds a fun twist to the adventure when you run into Graham. He's got that cheerful personality and always brings a smile even in the middle of a dangerous wasteland. Plus, his trading and his little stories add a lot of charm to the game. It's always a highlight to bump into him.
And Morgantown is free of its ghouls.
That would be quite the game-changing development. If Morgantown were ever cleared of all those ghouls, it would definitely feel like a major milestone in the Fallout 76 world. It would open up a lot of possibilities for new quests and interactions, and definitely make the area a lot safer for players to explore. Fingers crossed that we get to see that happen.
Alright, let's go to Point Pleasant next.
Point Pleasant is definitely another intriguing location in Fallout 76. It's got that eerie, mysterious vibe with the Mothman legends and a whole spooky atmosphere. Definitely stands out from other areas in the game. If you ever want to explore it more, there's a lot of cool lore and unique encounters waiting.
We'll go ahead and explore it.
Awesome. Point Pleasant is definitely a unique spot. It's known for its connection to the Mothman, a cryptid that's become a kind of iconic figure in the Fallout universe. The town's got a bit of a creepy atmosphere with the old church and the Mothman Museum, plus some interesting quests that revolve around a mysterious creature. It's a great place to explore if you're into a little bit of spooky lore.
Who doesn't love a good spooky lore?
Absolutely. The spooky lore in Point Pleasant is definitely a highlight. The Mothman is a legendary figure with a mysterious backstory, and the town itself has that eerie vibe with its old architecture and the local legends. It's the perfect place to dive into if you enjoy a bit of mystery and supernatural elements in your gaming adventures.
Yes, of course, why not?
Absolutely. It sounds like a great plan. If you ever want to explore more about Point Pleasant or anything else in